We are now joined by Kyle Busch, who is also running double duty here this weekend in the Cup Series, a two-time winner at this racetrack, and one of the more memorable wins here is, your last one here at Sonoma, Kyle. How special is this place for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good racetrack over the years. We've had some nice runs here. It's always been kind of fun as road courses. I grew up kind of just teaching them as a off weekend, just an opportunity to go out there, have fun, and kind of let loose and let the results be what they are. So that's changed, obviously, more recent years with there now being 4 or 6 road course races a year, and now guys really focusing on that and becoming better at that. So, you have to be more on tune with what's going on in being able to run left and right hand turns and all the shifting and everything that's involved in that too. So, but yeah, I love coming out here. It's been a good place. Winning here in 15 was certainly, really, really special to get back on the winning train and to carry that on to our first series championship. So that was nice.
Good deal. We're going to open the floor for questions. If you have a question for Kyle, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Start back with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking tires on that. So kicking things off, I asked Austin about his, life in the fast lane. Talk about Rowdy, which is obviously coming out, and we're getting some teasers on that stuff.
I mean, for anybody that's been around the sport for a while, it would nothing in there's anything new. More so for the casual fan, if you will, to learn and understand a little bit about, or if you're a newer NASCAR fan and only been around for, I guess, the last 5 or 8 years, you don't necessarily know the whole history of where I came from and what all went down in the early days. So, yeah, just kind of giving a whole lineup of that. Feel like, the film's okay. There's definitely some elements that got left out that just timing just wasn't enough time to show that. So, wish we had an opportunity to do something more of, the Jordan feature that was, 8-9 hours worth of film that was put out. So, but it is what it is, and looking forward to people to understand a little bit more about the Rowdy background.
And one thing regarding the track here this weekend, you'll get a first-hand look at it with the trucks. But it comes into play in turn 4 with the turtles are gone now. But I guess the drivers, as Austin confirmed, that you guys aren't. Y'all went to NASCAR and asked for that to be gone. How would have that played out if they wouldn't have removed those turtles in turn 4 with the bumps there?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but I feel like with the toe links and everything on this car, we would have been bending front and rear toe links. Jumping over that, obviously, you'd be hurting the underbody, specifically the diffuser area, because we're trying to run these cars really low in the back to keep the downforce attached in the back of the car. So, a lot of that would have been an issue. But, being that it's lesser over there, so it's smoother over there, I still think you're going to have some bottoming out issues, but it won't be what it was.
Go next to Mark.
Wanted to follow up on the film. You were talking about you wanted people to better understand your story. What would you like them, a fan, to really understand about you and your career coming away from it?
It's a good question. I don't know. Honestly, nobody's asked me that. So I guess, I don't know. I feel like anything running through my mind, I'm trying to interpret it as people would understand me talking about it, and all it comes across as whining. So I'm going to have to think on that one first.
Do you feel misunderstood? I mean,
Great point.
I mean, at a lot of your career, I think it would be safe to say that a lot of stuff that has happened, you've either been misunderstood or misinterpreted. Would that be fair? Yes,
that would be very fair. I feel as though there's been a lot of instances and scenarios where there's buildup to certain actions, and I don't feel as though that buildup is ever been characterized, to get me to that point, to get the pot to finally boil over. And so to showcase a little bit of that, and that's one of the other points of the movie that was not fully given in there, was some other boil over points. So anyways, that's just kind of a part of it. But, when you come in to the sport off of, your brother's name, who got me here, so he is due credit for that. But you're booed in your first race. You know, driver intros qualifying third at Charlotte Motor Speedway for an Xfinity Series race, and you're booed. That doesn't really, I guess, bode well for the remainder of your time.
I'd like to also ask a little question because we got the break. Nashville last year, you didn't get the finish you wanted, but you led some laps. I think you finished 11th, I believe. What did you think of the race, and how good a race do you think we'll see with this next-gen car at Nashville?
Yeah, no, I thought last year's race was really good. The racetrack really widened out, really became a driver's track where you could move around. You know, the bottom's where it all started, and we kind of moved around. We made it about 3 lanes wide. I don't think I've ever seen Nashville 3 lanes wide. But it was a good show, good place to run around. But unfortunately, I still felt like I got stuck in traffic at times and just couldn't make as much time up as I wanted to when I needed to. So I feel like we'll see some of that this year as well. And again, still hoping the track widens out like that so you can have places to go.
Next to Adam.
Yeah, Adam Carabine from RacingRefresh.com. I was just going to ask about the truck race. Does that give you any sort of carryover or some sort of learning that you can bring to the Cup race on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the purpose, I guess, of doing it, but also doing it just because the trucks haven't been here in 20-something years. So I feel like it was a really cool opportunity to get back out here. Kind of one of the racetracks that was on the original schedule of the birthplace of the Truck Series, you know. So gives me that chance to come out here and race on the track in which, you know, was on the schedule back in 1995, 6, 8, whatever. So look forward to that part of it. And then as well, just being so hot today, the tires are just going to melt, you know. So not sure how much you're really going to learn today, but it'll still be a bit like this tomorrow. But then Sunday cools off. So you'll see a lot of difference throughout the weekend with track condition.
And just wanted to follow up also, ask you about the carousel, which is not here this weekend. It's the chute instead. What's your preference? What do you think?
I can go either way. It really doesn't bother me much. I enjoyed the chute here. I ran the carousel in 1998 when I ran the Legends Cars Nationals here and finished third in that. But we ran the carousel, and it was fun, enjoyed it. And then the last year, you know, we got to do that as well, too, and now we're back to the chute again. So really it doesn't change, I don't think, much of the passing zone. What you gain in 4, I feel like you still kind of have half as much in 4, but then you have half as much through the carousel, so that equals out. And then turn 7 is still turn 7, same passing area. So it doesn't really change anything in my book as far as race ability or passing zone.
Back to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking stars. I have a couple of follow-ups. Carson Hocevar just held a press conference. He confirmed that he has a screw in his ankle. If anyone in the garage can confirm what it's like to race injured, broken ankles, what is he looking at if he can get cleared for the race? He's cleared for practice by NASCAR, but if he gets cleared for the race, what kind of pain is he looking at in a truck at a road course?
What ankle?
Right ankle.
Not that bad. You know, the left is way worse. You know, the pressure that you have to push through the brake. I mean, we talk about brake pressure in pounds and stuff, and road course racing typically around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds of brake pressure that you have to put through. That's not deadlifting, obviously, 10,000 or 1,000 pounds, but it's still a significant amount of force that you have to push through your foot. But if it's the right foot, obviously that's gas only, so it's just a matter of motion. And again, I'm not sure of the severity of his injury and motion of ankle and all that stuff, but you can do a couple more things with the gas pedal to help alleviate some pressure points and some motion, but the brakes is really hard to compensate for.
And any sleepless nights, baby keeping you guys up?
Every night. Yep. She's only every 2.5, 3 hours. So yeah, definitely some shifts between Samantha and myself.
Go next to Bob.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. How much can you take from COTA with the next-gen car, what you learned to here, or is this, you know, totally new, and are you just totally learning again?
I mean, yeah, that's your only road course race that you have so far, but then you've got to take into consideration that COTA is a relatively flat road course. There's not a whole lot of elevation change there. So there's not a whole lot of load variance, where here you have good load in up the hill in 1, you've got good load in 3, you've got reverse load off of 4, reverse load off of 9. So, you know, in those particular areas, you're trying to work through that in sim as your differences between COTA. So however you can target that information will help you here. And then when you go to a place like Road America again, I feel like that's going to be really, really way more closer to COTA than it is here.
Next to Mark.
I wasn't going to ask this, but why do you think COTA and Road America sort of match up?
Just the flatness, I guess. You know, a lot of the turns at Road America, you don't have elevation change. The only one that you do have is there kind of by the pits where you come, I think it's you come out of 5 and then you go up the hill to 6, like that's it. You know, everything else is really flat, 90-degree corners, or you have the sweeper right-hander down in the back. I think that's turn 10 or 11. So, you know, it's way more similar to COTA than here, where you're turning while going uphill and stuff like that.
I'm assuming that with the break coming up with the new baby, it's a staycation. And what's your thoughts of just a 1-week break in a season that starts in February and ends in November?
It's tough. I mean, it would certainly be nice to have more, definitely. But, you know, we take what we can get, obviously. So, you know, it is a staycation. Actually, we'll be racing. Brexton will be running tonight in Visalia, and then we run Tuesday, and then we run Saturday. So not an off week, but, you know, staying home. We've got a lot of work to do next week, so no time to go anywhere.
Any additional questions for Kyle? Good deal. Kyle, thanks for taking the time
All
to
right.
join us. Good luck
Yep,
this weekend.
thanks. Visalia, which is about